There is a secret that the world's highest achievers have discovered. It is not found in complex formulas or moments of sheer luck. It is found right here within each of us. Have you ever wondered what separates a person who lives with burning passion from one who merely exists? The secret, my friends, is mindset. Napoleon Hill, after decades of studying the most successful people of his time, found a common thread. They thought differently, they acted differently, and they achieved the extraordinary. Jim Rohn, my great mentor, taught that success is not magical or mysterious. Success is the natural consequence of consistently applying basic fundamentals. And that is exactly what we will uncover today. For the next 80 to 100 minutes, I will not simply tell you about these principles. I will take you on a journey to understand and plant the seeds of greatness in your own mind. Together, we will explore the 10 building blocks that can reshape your life. Let's begin with a question so simple yet so profound, it has the power to change everything. What do you want? What do you truly, deeply want from this life? Most of us, if we're honest, don't have a clear answer. We go to work, we pay our bills, we watch the news, and we drift through our days. We are like a ship without a rudder, caught in the currents of life, hoping to end up somewhere good. But hope, my friends, is not a strategy. It's a recipe for disappointment. Jim Rohn once said, one of the reasons why people do not reach their goals is that they have not defined them. This isn't just about setting a goal, it's about finding your clarity of purpose. It's the most foundational, non-negotiable building block for any kind of lasting achievement. Without it, the other 9 principles are almost useless. Think of it this way. You can have the most powerful engine in the world, but if you don't know where you're going, all that power is just wasted fuel. So, how do we find this clarity? It begins with a courageous act of introspection. It starts with sitting down, shutting out the noise of the world, and asking yourself the hard questions. Not what your parents want for you, not what your friends are doing, not what society tells you to want, but what you, at your core, truly desire. This requires brutal honesty, and sometimes it's uncomfortable. But that discomfort is the first step toward living a life of intention, not just existence. Napoleon Hill, after interviewing hundreds of millionaires, discovered that every single one of them had a definite purpose, not a vague wish, but a burning, specific desire. They knew exactly what they wanted, and that unwavering focus became their driving force. They were like a laser beam, cutting through distractions that scattered the energy of others. This clarity isn't just a thought, it's a living, breathing vision you carry with you. Let's break this down with a simple analogy. Imagine you want to get fit. A vague goal like I want to lose weight will likely fail. It lacks direction, it lacks a finish line. But a clear purpose, like I will lose 20 pounds in the next 3 months to feel more energetic and confident, is a compass. It tells you exactly where you're going and gives you a deadline. It's a commitment you can measure, a promise you can keep. That's the difference between a wish and a purpose. But purpose isn't just about the what, it's about the why. The what is the destination, but the why is the fuel that gets you there. If your goal is to build a successful business, your what is the business itself. But your why might be to provide a better life for your family, to solve a pressing problem for your community, or to achieve a level of freedom you've only ever dreamed of. The stronger your why, the stronger your drive, especially when the inevitable obstacles appear. When times get tough, it won't be the destination that keeps you going, but the deep, emotional connection to your why. High achievers dig deep into their reasons. They don't just want success, they are connected to the purpose behind it. Another incredible byproduct of clarity is how it attracts opportunity. When you know exactly what you want, you start sending a clear signal to the universe. Your mind becomes tuned to opportunities that align with your vision. You'll start noticing articles, conversations, and people you would have completely overlooked before. It's like turning on a radar for your destiny. If you are vague, the world responds with vagueness, but when you are specific, doors open and people and resources begin to align with your vision. So here's your first call to action. Take a pen and a piece of paper. Don't type it, write it. There is a magical connection between your mind and the physical act of writing. Write down with brutal honesty what you truly want out of life. Then write down your why, the reasons that will fuel your journey. Keep this document close and read it every single day. This is not just an exercise, it's a commitment. It's the first step toward turning the ship of your life around and setting a course for greatness. The moment you get clear on your purpose is the moment you stop just existing and start truly living. My friends, listen closely. You have your purpose. You have your destination. But what good is a map if you have no car? What good is a brilliant blueprint if you have no power tools? Your purpose is the blueprint for your life, but discipline and consistency are the engine, the fuel, and the power tools that will build it. Without them, your purpose is just a wish. It is a beautiful but fragile dream that will fade with the first sign of resistance. Look at any person you admire, an athlete, an artist, a CEO. Did they get there by luck alone? Did they wake up one morning with talent and success magically bestowed upon them? Number. They got there because they made discipline and consistency a non-negotiable, fundamental, and unbreakable part of their lives. Discipline is about doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. And let's be honest, there will be days when you won't feel like it. There will be mornings when the alarm goes off and every fiber of your being wants to hit the snooze button and stay in bed. There will be moments when the initial excitement and motivation fade and all that's left is the hard, unglamorous grind. Those are the moments that test you. Those are the moments that forge your character. Those are the moments that separate high achievers from everyone else. Anyone can be motivated when things are easy, when the sun is shining and the path is clear. But discipline is what kicks in when motivation is nowhere to be found. It is the silent commitment to your future self when your present self wants to take the easy way out. Think of it this way. Motivation is a spark. It can ignite a fire, but it won't keep it burning. Discipline is the constant supply of wood that keeps that fire alive, even when the wind blows and the rain falls. And consistency is what turns that discipline into undeniable results. It's not about working hard for 1 week or 1 month and then stopping. It's about showing up day after day, week after week, year after year. It's the small, seemingly insignificant decisions you make over and over again. High achievers understand that success isn't built in a single heroic day. It's the result of countless small actions repeated over time. It's showing up for the workout even when you're tired. It's writing that one page, making that one call, and putting in that extra 30 minutes of effort when no one is watching. It's sticking to the plan even when progress feels painstakingly slow. Jim Rohn used to tell a story about a farmer. The farmer doesn't plant a seed and expect to harvest the next day. He plants the seed, he waters it, he tends to the soil, and he removes the weeds day after day through sun and rain. The harvest is a natural consequence of that consistent effort. That is the philosophy of consistency. It creates momentum, and momentum, my friends, is what creates results. It is the flywheel that, once spinning, becomes a force of nature, nearly impossible to stop. The two work hand in hand. Discipline gets you through the tough days, the days when you doubt yourself and question your purpose. Consistency ensures those tough days add up to something meaningful, building a foundation so strong it cannot be shaken. If they were easy, everyone would be successful. But they're not. They require effort, sacrifice, and the willingness to do what most people won't. And that's exactly why they are so powerful. When you develop discipline and consistency, you set yourself apart. You become the kind of person who follows through, who doesn't quit, who can be trusted to deliver. You become a force to be reckoned with. So, how do we build this muscle of discipline? You can't just flip a switch. It starts with building small, unbreakable habits. Jim Rohn taught that you should eat an elephant one bite at a time. Too often, people get overwhelmed because they try to do too much at once. They try to change everything in a week and end up changing nothing. Discipline is like a muscle. You must build it gradually. Start small, master that small habit, and let the momentum build. Let me give you a practical example. Do you want to read more books? Don't try to read an entire book in a day. That's a sure path to failure and discouragement. Instead, start with a simple discipline. I will read for 10 minutes every single night before I go to sleep. That's it. It's so small, it's almost impossible to fail. But by doing it consistently, you build the habit. After a month, you'll be reading for 20 minutes, then 30, then you'll find yourself finishing books without even thinking about it. Structure creates discipline, and discipline creates results. On the other hand, the hardest part of consistency is patience. We live in a world obsessed with instant gratification. We want results now. We want to be fit after one workout, rich after one investment, and masters of our craft after 1 week of practice. But high achievers know that real success takes time. They are willing to put in the work even when the results aren't immediate. They trust the process. Think of it like building a massive skyscraper. You don't see the building for the first few months. You only see workers digging a massive hole in the ground, laying a deep, unseen foundation. That is what consistency looks like in the beginning. It is the unseen work that creates the visible success later on. High achievers guard their thoughts. They know that discipline and consistency start in the mind. If you're constantly telling yourself, it's too hard, or I'm not good enough, you're going to quit. They focus on what's possible, not what's difficult. They remind themselves of their goals, their purpose, and their progress. They know that the pain of discipline is far less than the pain of regret. So, I ask you, what's one area of your life where you need more discipline? Is it your health, your career, your relationships? Whatever it is, start there. Decide to show up consistently, even if it's just for 5 minutes a day. Build the habit. Prove to yourself that you can do it. Because at the end of the day, success isn't about what you do once in a while. It's about what you do every single day. My friends, if you have a clear purpose, and if you have committed to the discipline and consistency that builds greatness, then you have done more than most. But there is still one crucial ingredient missing. One force so powerful it can move mountains. One belief so fundamental it can redefine your destiny. That is the power of self-belief. Let me be blunt. Self-belief is not a nice-to-have quality. It is a must-have. It is the very engine of all your actions. The quiet voice that either propels you forward or holds you back. When you truly believe in yourself, it changes everything. It changes the way you walk, the way you talk, and the way you approach every single challenge in your life. It's like a switch flips inside you, and suddenly the things that once seemed impossible start to feel not just possible, but inevitable. High achievers don't get to where they are because they are smarter, luckier, or more talented number. They get there because they have mastered the art of believing in themselves even when no one else does. They understand, as Napoleon Hill taught, that whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Here's a hard, undeniable truth. If you don't believe in yourself, how can you expect anyone else to? Confidence isn't something you wait for. It isn't a gift that someone hands to you. It is a fortress you build from the inside out, brick by brick, with every small victory, every brave decision, and every time you choose to get back up. It begins with a single, powerful decision. A decision to say, I am capable, I am worthy, I have what it takes to succeed. That decision is yours and yours alone. No one can make it for you, and no one can take it away. But let's be real. Believing in yourself isn't always easy. Life has a way of testing you. Maybe you've faced setbacks that felt like the end of the world. Maybe you've had people, family, friends, even colleagues who doubted you, criticized you, or made you question your abilities. Maybe you've even had that little voice of self-doubt whispering in your ear, telling you to quit. That's normal. It happens to everyone. But high achievers don't let those doubts take over. They don't let their failures define them. Instead, they use those moments as fuel to push forward. They understand that self-belief isn't about ignoring your flaws or pretending to be perfect. It's about knowing that despite your imperfections, your struggles, and your moments of weakness, you can still achieve incredible things. The battle for self-belief starts in your mind with your thoughts. What you say to yourself matters more than you realize. Your mind is like a garden. If you plant weeds of negativity, I'm not good enough, I'll never make it, I don't deserve this, then you are planting the seeds of your own failure before you've even begun. High achievers are meticulous gardeners of their minds. They take control of their inner dialogue. When a challenge comes their way, they don't say, "I can't do this." They say, "How can I figure this out?" That subtle shift from a limiting statement to an empowering question makes all the difference. It turns a roadblock into a puzzle. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you gave yourself credit for something? We are conditioned to focus on our failures and ignore our victories. But if you want to build self-belief, you've got to celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Did you finish a difficult project at work? Acknowledge it. Did you make progress on a personal goal? Celebrate it. Every step forward, every small success is proof that you are capable. It is a brick in the fortress of your confidence. High achievers don't just endure challenges, they actively seek them out. Why? Because they understand that every challenge is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to prove to yourself what you are made of. When you step outside your comfort zone, you're forced to rely on your own abilities. And every time you succeed, you reinforce the belief that you can handle whatever comes your way. That's how self-belief grows, not by avoiding difficulty, but by facing it head-on and emerging stronger. Now, let's talk about failure, because it's one of the biggest reasons people lose faith in themselves. Failure can feel like a punch to the gut. It's discouraging, frustrating, and it can make you want to give up everything you've worked for. But high achievers don't see failure as the end. They see it as a stepping stone. They know that failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of the process. Think about it. Every successful person you admire has failed, probably more times than you can count. The difference is they didn't let those failures stop them. They used them as lessons, as fuel, as motivation to keep going. As Jim Rohn famously said, failure is not a person. Failure is an event. If you have failed before, and let's be honest, we all have, don't let that failure define you. Don't let it become your identity. Instead, take a moment, own what happened, and then ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I do better next time? High achievers have this incredible ability to separate their worth from their mistakes. They understand that failing at something doesn't make them a failure. It just means they're human, and being human means you have the ability to grow, to adapt, and to keep moving forward. One of the final and most powerful keys to self-belief is taking action. You can't think your way into confidence, you have to act your way into it. Nothing builds confidence like doing the work. Don't wait until you feel ready, because let me tell you, you will never feel 100% ready. Start now, even if it's messy, even if it's imperfect. Every step you take, every action you complete will build your confidence bit by bit. And before you know it, you'll look back and realize how far you've come. Remember, self-belief isn't a destination, it's a journey. It's something you cultivate every day with every thought, every action, and every choice. It's about trusting yourself even when the odds are against you. It's about knowing that you're capable even when the world tells you otherwise. And it's about showing up for yourself day after day because you are worth it. When you master the power of self-belief, you unlock a new level of potential. You stop holding yourself back and you start stepping into the person you were always meant to be. This is where the true work begins. My friends, if you have your purpose, your discipline, and your self-belief, you are now equipped with the most powerful tools in the world. But life, my friends, is not a straight road. It is a labyrinth of challenges, setbacks, and obstacles. The question is not if you will face problems, but how you will react when they hit you. The fourth building block is what separates the masters from the masses. The architect's perspective focuses on solutions, not problems. Think of yourself as an architect, and your life is the building. When a storm hits, the amateur architect stands in the rain, wringing their hands, complaining about the damage. They yell, "Why did this happen to me? Why is the wind so strong? Why is this so unfair?" They are consumed by the problem. Their energy is wasted on blame, frustration, and a sense of victimhood. The moment you start focusing on the problem, you give away your power. You become a prisoner in a cell of your own making, with your mind fixated on all the reasons something can't be done. You are no longer the architect. You are merely a casualty of the storm. But the master architect, the high achiever, does not waste a single second on such thoughts. The moment the storm hits, they don't ask, Why did this happen? They ask a far more powerful question: what can I do about it? They are not focused on the storm, they are focused on the structure. They are not fixated on the problem, they are obsessively dedicated to the solution. This is a profound and fundamental shift in mindset. It is the difference between living as a victim and living as a creator. This is not about ignoring the problem, it's about acknowledging it without letting it paralyze you. You see, the problem is a fact, a reality you must accept. The solution, however, is a choice. It is a decision to take action. When you shift your focus, something incredible happens. Your mind, a magnificent problem-solving machine, is unlocked. It begins to search for possibilities where it once saw roadblocks. It asks, what's the next step I can take? Who can help me with this? What resources are at my disposal? What is the one thing I can control right now? This is the mindset of an unstoppable force. High achievers are problem solvers by nature. They don't sit around waiting for someone else to fix things. They take ownership. They recognize that blaming circumstances or other people is the ultimate act of self-betrayal. It's an admission that you have no power, no control, and no future. And that is a price they are not willing to pay. This architect's perspective requires courage and creativity. It's about having the willingness to think outside the box, to try new approaches, and to accept that not every solution will work. Think of Thomas Edison. He didn't see thousands of failures in his quest for the light bulb. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His focus was always on the next solution, not on the problem of the previous failure. He saw each setback as a stepping stone, a piece of vital information that brought him closer to his goal. A key to this mindset is maintaining composure under pressure. When a problem arises, it's easy to get emotional. The high achiever, however, takes a step back. They don't let anger, frustration, or fear dictate their actions. They've trained themselves to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. They separate themselves from the emotion of the problem to see the logic of the solution. They understand that a calm mind is a powerful weapon in the face of chaos. This is not a mindset you are born with. It is a skill you must cultivate, a muscle you must build. The next time you face a challenge, I want you to pay attention to where your focus goes. If you find yourself dwelling on what went wrong, make a conscious, deliberate effort to shift your focus. Say to yourself, the problem is Wooded Island. I accept it. Now, what's my next move? This simple mental habit will begin to rewire your brain to seek progress instead of dwelling on the past. Remember, every problem has a solution, even if it's not immediately obvious. Sometimes the solution is simple, and sometimes it's complex. Sometimes it requires patience, and sometimes it requires bold action. But there is always a way forward if you are willing to look for it. High achievers don't see problems as barriers, they see them as stepping stones to greatness. They understand that every challenge is an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. When you master the architect's perspective, the world no longer happens to you. You begin to happen to the world. You move from being a victim of circumstance to being the creator of your destiny. And that, my friends, is the mindset of true power. My friends, if you have your purpose, your discipline, your self-belief, and the architect's perspective to solve problems, you have built a powerful fortress for your success. But there is one final crucial element that ensures your fortress does not crumble with the passage of time. The fifth building block is the master's mindset, continuous learning and growth. Jim Rohn taught a timeless lesson that resonates with the very core of our being. The moment you stop learning, you stop growing. And the moment you stop growing, you start dying. It is a harsh truth, but it is a universal law of nature. Look at any tree in a forest. If it stops reaching for the sun, if its roots stop seeking new nourishment, it will wither and fall. The same is true for a person. In today's rapidly changing world, relying on what you knew yesterday is a recipe for irrelevance tomorrow. The world is accelerating, and if you are not growing, you are being left behind. High achievers are not just lifelong learners, they are intentional learners. They understand that growth is not automatic. It is a conscious, deliberate choice you must make every single day. They see every experience, every interaction, and every challenge as an opportunity to learn. This isn't just about accumulating facts and figures. It is about sharpening your mind, expanding your perspectives, and building a foundation of wisdom that no one can ever take away from you. This mindset begins with a profound sense of curiosity. High achievers are insatiably curious by nature. They ask questions, they explore, they dig deeper. They don't settle for surface-level understanding. They want to know how things work, why they work, and how they can be made better. This curiosity is the engine that drives them to keep learning, even when it is uncomfortable or inconvenient. It is about choosing to stay open-minded and eager to learn, regardless of how much you already know. Remember, the true sign of intelligence is not knowledge, but imagination and the willingness to learn. The moment you think you know everything, you close the door to new opportunities. But here's a crucial point. Learning isn't always about gaining knowledge. It's also about unlearning. Sometimes the beliefs you've held on to for years, the habits and assumptions you've inherited from society or your upbringing, can actually hold you back. The high achiever is brave enough to challenge those beliefs, to let go of outdated ways of thinking, and to embrace new perspectives. They are not afraid to question the status quo or to change their approach when necessary. This flexibility and adaptability are what keep them moving forward in a world that is constantly shifting beneath our feet. As Jim Rohn famously put it, if you want to be a master, you have to be willing to be a beginner. This means having the humility to admit you don't have all the answers and the courage to seek them out. A powerful source of learning comes from an unexpected place: failure. High achievers do not fear failure. They see it as their greatest teacher. They don't see a closed door, they see a lesson. When things don't go as planned, they don't get discouraged, they get curious. They ask themselves, what went wrong here? What is the lesson I am meant to learn? How can I do better next time? They know that every failure holds a valuable lesson, and they are determined to find it. This willingness to learn from failure is what allows them to bounce back stronger, smarter, and more determined every single time. As Napoleon Hill discovered, every major setback carries with it the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. Failure is not the end of the road. It is merely a signpost pointing you in a better direction. Another key to continuous learning is being intentional about your growth. High achievers don't just wait for learning opportunities to fall into their laps, they seek them out relentlessly. They read books that challenge their perspectives. They take courses to develop new skills. They attend seminars to network and gain insights from experts. They make a deliberate effort to expand their minds. They know that investing in themselves is the best investment they can ever make. They also understand the value of learning from others. They surround themselves with mentors, role models, and peers who inspire and challenge them. They are not afraid to ask for advice or to learn from someone else's experiences. They understand that no one has a monopoly on good ideas, and that everyone, regardless of their background or position, has something to teach. This humility and willingness to learn from others is what helps them stay ahead and achieve their goals. A good mentor can save you years of trial and error. They have already walked the path you are on, and their insights are invaluable. High achievers actively seek out these relationships. Finally, remember that growth is a choice. You have the power to decide whether you're going to stay where you are or take steps to improve. High achievers make the choice to keep learning, to keep growing, and to keep striving for more. It's not always easy, and it's not always comfortable, but it's always worth it. If you commit to the journey of continuous learning, you will unlock potential you didn't even know existed. You will not only build a successful life, but a life of perpetual vitality and inspiration. My friends, if you have built your purpose, your discipline, your self-belief, your architect's perspective, and your master's mindset, you now stand prepared for the greatest challenge of all, the relentless storms of life. The sixth and most crucial building block for high achievers is the unbreakable spirit, the importance of resilience. The journey to achievement is not a paved highway. It is a treacherous path through deserts of doubt and over mountains of adversity. It's filled with twists, turns, and unexpected setbacks. It's easy to look at successful people from a distance and think their path was smooth, that their victories were inevitable. But that is a profound illusion. Every high achiever, every great leader, every visionary has faced moments when they felt like giving up, times when things didn't go according to plan, and when they weren't sure if they could keep going. What sets them apart is not the absence of storms, but their ability to withstand them. Resilience is not just about getting back up after you fall. That is a basic reflex. True resilience is about how you approach the fall itself. It's about how you respond to the tough times, the devastating failures, and the crushing disappointments. High achievers understand that setbacks are not the end of the road. They are an essential part of the journey. They don't see failure as a personal flaw. They see it as a data point, a valuable piece of information, a brutal but necessary lesson. They know that the real test of character comes not when everything is going well, but when life gets difficult. Napoleon Hill spent a lifetime observing the world's most successful people and discovered a common trait. They all possessed an unwavering tenacity. They were knocked down, but they were never knocked out. Think of Abraham Lincoln, a man who faced repeated failures in business and politics, losing 8 different elections before becoming one of the greatest presidents in U.S. history. His story isn't one of unbroken success. It's a testament to the power of resilience. He saw each defeat not as a final verdict, but as a stepping stone. So, how do we cultivate this unbreakable spirit? It's not something you're born with. It's a choice you make and a muscle you build. First, resilience comes from having a powerful, burning sense of purpose. Jim Rohn taught that your why is the fuel that keeps you going when everything else runs out. When you have a clear understanding of your purpose, you have a reason to get up and keep fighting. The pain of a temporary setback, a failed project, a lost deal, a missed opportunity is nothing compared to the permanent pain of abandoning the mission that gives your life meaning. High achievers aren't just working for a paycheck. They are driven by a deep sense of mission that pushes them through the most difficult times. They don't give up because they're connected to something bigger than themselves. That vision is their anchor in the storm. It's the voice in their head that says, "This is bigger than me. This is bigger than this problem. I have to keep going." That purpose keeps them moving forward when their legs want to give out, when their mind wants to quit, and when the world tells them to stop. Second, resilience is fortified by a strong, unshakable belief in your own ability to overcome. When you face setbacks, it's easy to start doubting yourself. The negative voices in your mind will scream, "I told you so, you're not good enough." But high achievers have a deep-seated belief that they can handle anything. This isn't born from arrogance. It's forged in the fires of experience. It comes from remembering all the other times they faced a seemingly impossible challenge and found a way to win. It's the quiet confidence that says, "I've been here before. I've survived worse. This is just another lesson, and I am stronger than this." They've been through tough times before, and they've come out stronger. They know they can handle whatever challenges they face because their past has not defined them, but has instead prepared them for their future. Each past struggle, each past victory is a brick in the foundation of their self-belief. They look at a new obstacle not with fear, but with the quiet resolve of someone who has already proven to themselves that they are capable of greatness. They know that resilience isn't about avoiding the fight, it's about winning it, time and time again. A critical aspect of resilience is the ability to adapt. Life is not a rigid script, it's a constantly changing improvisation. High achievers understand that the road to success is rarely a straight line. There will be twists, turns, and detours. But rather than getting discouraged by an unexpected obstacle, they find ways to adapt and keep moving forward. They are flexible and open to change. They understand that sometimes the best way forward isn't the way they originally planned, but a new, more effective path they discovered because of the very obstacle they faced. This leads to another key: a relentless focus on the long-term goal. When things get tough, it's easy to get bogged down by immediate obstacles. But high achievers keep their eyes on the bigger picture. They understand that tough times will pass, but their vision of success will remain. They don't let a short-term setback derail their long-term vision. They have the mental fortitude to say, "This is just a moment. My goal is a lifetime." Finally, building resilience is a daily habit. It starts with your mindset. Stop seeing setbacks as failures and start seeing them as lessons. Every challenge is a lesson. The more you view difficulties this way, the easier it will be to stay resilient. It's also vital to practice self-care. It's hard to stay strong when you're physically, mentally, or emotionally drained. High achievers understand that resilience isn't just a mental game, it's a full-body commitment. They make time for rest and relaxation to recharge their batteries, knowing that a strong mind and body are essential for weathering the next storm. Resilience is not about avoiding tough times, it's about how you respond to them. It's the ability to bounce back, to get back on track after a setback, and to let adversity strengthen you rather than define you. The unbreakable spirit is not a gift, it is a choice. It is a skill you can cultivate over time, and it is what will ultimately lead you to the success you were meant to achieve. My friends, by this point, you have the inner tools of a high achiever. You have clarity of purpose, the discipline to pursue it, the self-belief to overcome doubt, the mindset to solve problems, the curiosity to keep learning, and the resilience to weather any storm. But there is one final external piece of the puzzle that is just as vital as the inner work. The seventh, and perhaps most subtle building block, is the master of influence, the power of a positive environment. Jim Rohn gave us a profound truth that is both simple and life-altering. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Think about that for a moment. It's not a mere suggestion. It's a fundamental law of human behavior. Your attitudes, your habits, your income, and your aspirations are a direct reflection of the people in your life. Your environment is more than just the physical space you occupy. It is a powerful, invisible force that is constantly shaping who you are. It is the conversations you have, the books you read, the music you listen to, and the content you consume. High achievers understand this principle, and they take full, deliberate control of it. They do not leave their environment to chance. They sculpt it with the precision of a master artist. First, let's talk about the people in your life. Are you surrounded by people who lift you up or drag you down? Are they dreaming big dreams, or are they constantly complaining about their reality? Are they celebrating your victories, or are they silently hoping you fail? Your social circle is either your greatest asset or your heaviest anchor. High achievers are intentional about who they allow into their inner circle. They seek out relationships with people who inspire them, who challenge them to be better, and who believe in their potential, even on days when they doubt it themselves. These are the people who will not allow you to settle for mediocrity. They will not let you quit. They are your allies on the battlefield of life. This does not mean you abandon your friends or family. It means you must become the master of influence, not the victim of it. You can't change people, but you can change your exposure to them, and more importantly, you can become the positive influence in their lives. The master doesn't just seek a positive environment, they become a source of positive influence themselves. Second, your environment extends to the physical and mental space you inhabit. What is the state of your home? A cluttered, disorganized space can lead to a cluttered, disorganized mind. High achievers create spaces that promote focus, creativity, and calm. What is the content you consume? Are you filling your mind with news of negativity and despair, or are you filling it with books, podcasts, and videos that educate, inspire, and motivate you? Your mind is a garden, and you are the gardener. What you plant, whether it be seeds of fear or seeds of hope, will eventually grow. High achievers meticulously guard their minds from toxic information and instead feed it with fuel for their ambition. Third, and this is perhaps the most difficult part, you must have the courage to set boundaries. High achievers are very clear about what they will and will not tolerate in their lives. They know their time and energy are limited resources. They set boundaries to protect their space from things that drain their energy or distract them from their goals. This could mean limiting time with negative people, avoiding toxic situations, or simply saying no to commitments that don't align with their purpose. Setting boundaries is not selfish, it is an act of self-respect. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Remember this, your life today is a reflection of your environment. If you want to change your life, you must be willing to change your environment. If you want to change your future, you must be willing to change your influences. Take a look around you at the people, the places, the conversations. Does this environment support your growth? Does it motivate you to be your best self? If the answer is no, then you have work to do. The master of influence doesn't wait for the world to change. They change their world. They are not a product of their circumstances. They are the architect of their own reality. By intentionally shaping your environment, you become a powerful force for good, not just in your own life, but in the lives of everyone you touch. My friends, we've talked about purpose, discipline, self-belief, and resilience. We have discussed the tools that forge a champion's mindset. But now we arrive at the very heart of the matter, the single most powerful philosophy that separates those who dream from those who achieve. I am talking about the ultimate control, taking full responsibility for your success. Look around you. In this world, it is so easy to point fingers. It's easy to blame the economy, the government, our parents, our boss, our circumstances. It's easy to say, I would be successful if only. It's easy to become a victim of life. But I want to tell you a profound truth that will change your life forever. The moment you blame something or someone else, you give away your power. You surrender your control. You admit that you are not the master of your own destiny, but merely a passenger on a bus driven by someone else. And that, my friends, is a path that leads nowhere but to frustration and regret. High achievers have a different philosophy. They stand up and they say, I am responsible. They take full, uncompromising, and total responsibility for their successes and their failures. They understand that their journey is in their hands, that their future is shaped by the choices they make, and that no one else is going to build their dreams for them. This is the ultimate act of empowerment. It is the moment you stop waiting for life to happen to you and you start making life happen. Taking responsibility means that you acknowledge you are the common denominator in every result of your life. Did you lose a job? Instead of blaming the company, the high achiever asks, what could I have done differently to make myself indispensable? Did a project fail? Instead of blaming the team, they ask, what was my role in this? What did I miss? How can I lead more effectively next time? This isn't about self-blame. It's about self-correction. It is the brutal honesty that fuels growth. My friends, let's dive into the core of this philosophy, the very crossroads where life's paths diverge. Let's talk about the victim's mindset versus the creator's mindset. This isn't just about a few phrases. It's about two fundamentally different ways of seeing the world. The victim's mindset is a prison. It's built on a foundation of excuses and is fueled by blame. The victim says, my circumstances are holding me back. They believe their life is a script written by someone else, and they are merely an actor playing a predetermined role. They look at the economy, their boss, their upbringing, and they see unbreakable chains. They are trapped by a narrative of external forces, convinced that their lack of success is not their fault, but a result of bad luck or an unfair world. They wait for someone else to change the script, to free them from their chains, but that day never comes. The creator's mindset, on the other hand, is a universe of infinite possibilities. It is the mindset of an architect, an artist, a master. The creator looks at the same world, the same challenges, and sees something entirely different. The creator says, my circumstances are the canvas. I am the artist. They understand that while they may not control the color of the paint or the size of the canvas, they have absolute control over every brushstroke. They don't see problems, they see puzzles. They don't see obstacles, they see opportunities to demonstrate their ingenuity. This is the mindset of a person who believes they are not a product of their environment, but the master of it. The victim says, I don't have enough time. This is a lie we tell ourselves to justify our inaction, but the creator understands that we all have the same 24 hours. The creator says, I will make the time. They don't find time, they prioritize it. They don't wait for a convenient moment, they create one. They understand that every moment is a choice, and they choose to invest their time in what matters, to build towards their vision, to take one more step forward. The victim waits for a door to open. They stand in front of a closed door, hoping and praying for a miracle. They believe that their big break, their golden opportunity, will arrive magically, presented on a silver platter. They wait for permission, for a sign, for a perfect moment that never arrives. But the creator builds their own door. They don't wait for permission, they act with purpose. They see a wall and understand that it is simply an invitation to find a new way. They are resourceful, relentless, and inventive. They don't just look for opportunities, they create them from scratch. They understand that the world doesn't owe them anything, and that true success is not found by waiting, but by doing. This, my friends, is the most powerful choice you will ever make. Are you going to be a victim, or are you going to be a creator? The answer to that question will define your life. This is the very essence of Napoleon Hill's philosophy of personal initiative. He taught that the person who takes the initiative, who does more than they are paid to do, is the one who will eventually earn more than they ever thought possible. They take responsibility for their own education, their own growth, their own opportunities. They don't wait for permission. They don't wait for the stars to align. They take action knowing that their success is up to them. I want to share a powerful story. A young man wanted to become a great speaker, but he felt he didn't have the right opportunities. For years he blamed his lack of connections, his small town, and his circumstances. He was a victim. But one day he heard a powerful message. The moment you stop blaming, you start winning. He made a decision. He stopped waiting for a stage to be given to him, and he built his own. He started practicing in front of a mirror. He started speaking for free at small local events. He started a small podcast with a cheap microphone in his garage. He took full responsibility for his progress. And because he did, he didn't have to wait for an opportunity. He created it. The world didn't change for him. He changed for the world. And the opportunities followed. Taking responsibility is not about doing everything on your own. It's about being accountable. It's about recognizing your part in the success or failure of any endeavor. It's about making the choice to move forward, to grow, and to take action, even when it feels uncomfortable or uncertain. So I ask you today, right now, in this moment, to look inward with brutal honesty. This isn't about self-blame. It's about self-liberation. I want you to close your eyes for a moment, if you can, and truly consider these questions. Where in your life are you still giving away your power? Where are you still making excuses for why you haven't started, why you haven't finished, or why you haven't become the person you know you're meant to be? Are you blaming the market for your business's struggles? Are you blaming your genetics for your health challenges? Are you blaming your past for your current unhappiness? The truth is, the moment you stop saying, "It's not my fault," is the moment you can start saying, "I can fix this." The moment you stop blaming is the moment you regain control. You can wait for the perfect conditions, for the right opportunity, for someone to save you. Or you can decide right here, right now, that you are the one you've been waiting for. You are the architect. You are the builder. You are the driver. And your success, your happiness, and your destiny are entirely in your hands. Take back your power. Take full responsibility. Your journey to greatness begins now. The moment you can answer those questions with brutal honesty, you will be free. You will stop seeing yourself as a victim of life and start seeing yourself as the creator of your destiny. You have the ultimate control. Your success is in your hands. And the moment you take full responsibility is the moment you truly step into your power and start making your dreams a reality. My friends, we've talked about the principles that build an extraordinary life. But all of these principles, your purpose, your discipline, your resilience, all of them depend on a single, finite, and non-renewable resource. It is the most valuable currency you will ever possess. I am talking about time. Jim Rohn said, "Time is our most valuable asset, yet we are the most wasteful of it." Think about it. You can make more money, you can regain your health, but you can never ever make more time. Every single person on this planet, from the most powerful CEO to the person on the street, gets the exact same 24 hours in a day. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who don't is not a matter of talent or luck. It's a matter of how they use their time. The high achiever understands that time is not something to be spent, it is something to be invested. The first step to mastering time is to understand its true value. Most people treat time like sand slipping through their fingers, a river they have no control over. They react to whatever demands their attention. Endless emails, social media notifications, other people's emergencies. They live in a constant state of reaction, always busy but never productive. But the high achiever is different. They are the architects of their day, not the victims of it. They begin each day with a plan. They know exactly what needs to be done to move them closer to their goals, and they execute that plan with ruthless intention. This leads to the crucial principle of prioritization. Jim Rohn taught the importance of the 80/20 rule, the idea that 20% of your activities produce 80% of your results. High achievers don't waste their time on the 80% of things that produce little to no value. They identify the few critical tasks that will move the needle on their goals, and they put those tasks first. They ask themselves a powerful question every morning: what is the one thing I can do today that by doing it will make everything else easier or unnecessary? This focused approach allows them to achieve more in a few hours than most people accomplish in an entire week. But mastering time isn't just about what you do, it's also about what you don't do. High achievers have mastered the art of saying no. In a world filled with endless distractions and demands, saying no is the ultimate act of discipline. They say no to requests that don't align with their purpose. They say no to social events that pull them away from their priorities. They say no to the endless stream of notifications that steal their focus. By saying no to the trivial, they are saying yes to the monumental. And this brings us to the most insidious thief of time: procrastination. We all struggle with it. We put off the important tasks, the challenging work, the conversations we need to have. Procrastination is a silent killer of dreams. But Napoleon Hill discovered that the habit of procrastination can be defeated by a simple yet powerful strategy: the habit of doing. High achievers don't wait for the perfect moment or for inspiration to strike. They create their own momentum by taking action, even if it's imperfect. They break down their big goals into small, manageable tasks, and they get to work. They understand that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and they are committed to taking that step every single day. Finally, mastering time means learning how to be present. High achievers don't let their minds wander to tomorrow's tasks or yesterday's mistakes. When they are working, they are fully immersed in their work. When they are with their family, they are fully present with their family. They understand that every moment is a precious, non-renewable gift. By giving their full attention to the task at hand, they not only maximize their productivity, but also their quality of life. Your success, your legacy, your future, they are all built on the foundation of how you use your time. You have the same 24 hours as every great person who has ever lived. The question is not how much time you have, but what you will do with it. Will you spend it, or will you invest it? The choice is yours. And the moment you choose to master your time is the moment you choose to master your life. My friends, we have journeyed through the 9 building blocks of a high achiever's mindset. We have found our purpose, fortified our lives with discipline, built an unshakable self-belief, learned to see problems as opportunities, become lifelong learners, developed an unbreakable spirit of resilience, curated a positive environment, mastered our time, and taken full responsibility for our success. But all of these principles, all of this work, all of this personal development lead to one final, essential destination. This destination is not a physical place, but a state of being. It is the very heart of everything we have discussed. I am talking about the mark of true greatness: commitment to excellence. Jim Rohn once said, "Excellence is not an exception, it is a prevailing attitude." It's not something you turn on and off. It is a decision you make every single day to give your best, to push yourself to be better, and to hold yourself to the highest possible standards. This is not about being a perfectionist. It is about making a commitment to relentless improvement. High achievers don't settle for mediocrity. They don't do just enough to get by. They don't accept anything less than the very best they are capable of. Think of it this way: excellence is a habit. It is the sum total of every choice you make. It is the decision to arrive 10 minutes early instead of 5 minutes late. It's the decision to double-check your work one more time, even when you are tired. It's the decision to deliver a product that is not just good, but exceptional. High achievers know that true success is not measured by the final result, but by the quality of the journey. They show up every day with a commitment to do better than they did yesterday. This relentless pursuit of excellence begins with a profound respect for your craft. It doesn't matter if you are a carpenter, a teacher, a CEO, or a parent. Your work, whatever it may be, is your art, and high achievers are artists. They do not rest on their laurels or let success go to their heads. They keep pushing forward, knowing that there is always room to grow, always something more to learn, and always a way to improve. This commitment to excellence also means paying attention to the details. The world is full of people who are good at the big things but fail at the small ones. High achievers know that the little things matter most. They understand that a beautiful, solid building is only as strong as its foundation. They focus on the quality of their work, no matter how small the task may seem. They understand that excellence is built through repetition, discipline, and a deep, profound attention to detail. Think about Michelangelo. He wasn't just a master sculptor. He was a master of every single chisel stroke. He spent years on the Sistine Chapel, meticulously painting every single detail, even the ones no one on the ground could see. Why? Because to him, the work itself was the reward. The commitment to excellence was a conversation between him and his own soul. He knew that the pursuit of greatness was not about external recognition, but about living up to his own potential. This commitment to excellence also requires an unwavering belief in your ability to improve. High achievers understand that setbacks and failures are not a sign of weakness, but a signpost on the road to mastery. When something goes wrong, they don't get discouraged. They take responsibility, learn from it, and move forward. They view failure not as a roadblock, but as an opportunity to become better, stronger, and wiser. Finally, the commitment to excellence is fueled by a deep sense of purpose. It is the answer to the question, why am I doing this? High achievers are driven by a vision, a reason for why they do what they do. This sense of purpose gives them the energy and motivation to keep going, even when the road gets tough. Excellence is fueled by passion. And when you have a clear sense of purpose, you are more likely to keep pushing forward, to keep striving, and to keep aiming higher. In the end, excellence is not about what you do. It's about who you are. It's about being someone who is honest, dependable, and accountable. It means treating others with respect, keeping your word, and doing what you say you're going to do. High achievers build trust through their integrity and their commitment to doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. They know that excellence is as much about character as it is about results. This is the ultimate legacy you can leave behind. It's not the money you make or the awards you win, it's the standard you set. The commitment to excellence you carry will not only transform your own life, but it will inspire everyone around you to do the same. When you commit to being excellent in everything you do, you unlock your greatest potential and start living a life of true greatness. My friends, we have reached the end of our journey today. But this is not the end of your story. We have spent the last hour and a half walking through the blueprints of a high achiever's mind. We've talked about the power of clarity to light your path, the necessity of discipline and consistency to fuel your journey, the unbreakable strength of self-belief, and the resilience to weather any storm. We've explored the master's mindset of continuous learning, the architect's perspective of focusing on solutions, and the ultimate control that comes from taking full responsibility. But let's be honest, all of this knowledge, all of these principles are just potential power. They are like a toolbox full of the finest, most advanced tools in the world. But a toolbox, no matter how magnificent, can't build a house on its own. The house is built only when the craftsman picks up a hammer and a saw and starts to work. The true power, the magic you've been searching for, comes from one thing and one thing only: action. Napoleon Hill, after interviewing hundreds of the world's most successful people, concluded that they all possessed one common trait. They were people of action. They didn't just have an idea, they started. They didn't just have a plan, they moved. They didn't wait for permission, they took initiative. So, I ask you today, right now, in this moment, what is the first action you will take? Don't tell me what you're going to do next week. Don't tell me what you're going to do when you feel ready. Because let me tell you a secret, you'll never feel 100% ready. There will always be a voice in your head telling you to wait, to be safe, to start tomorrow. That voice is the enemy of your greatness. The time to start is now, even if it's messy, even if it's imperfect. Your journey to greatness does not begin with a grand, earth-shattering gesture. It doesn't start with a heroic leap or a sudden monumental change that makes headlines. The truth and the most powerful secret of all is that it begins with a single, small, deliberate step. Think about it. A towering oak tree doesn't grow overnight. It starts with a tiny acorn. A magnificent symphony doesn't begin with a crescendo. It starts with a single note. The path to your greatest achievements is paved not with massive leaps, but with consistent, small, courageous steps. Maybe it's sitting down for just 10 minutes tonight to write down your purpose. Not an entire business plan, not a 100-page manifesto, but simply clarifying in your own words what you want and why you want it. That 10 minutes is an act of creation. It's the first brick you lay for the castle you want to build. Maybe it's setting your alarm clock for just 10 minutes earlier tomorrow morning. Not an hour, not 2, just 10 minutes. And in those 10 minutes, you sit in silence, you meditate, you read one page of a book, or you simply breathe. That small, deliberate act is a declaration to the universe that you are in control of your time and you are the master of your day. Maybe it's looking in the mirror, not with criticism or judgment, but with a quiet resolve and saying, I am capable, I am worthy, I can do this. These aren't just empty words, they are affirmations that rewire your mind. They are the seeds of self-belief that, when watered with consistent action, will grow into an unshakable confidence. Don't underestimate the power of these small things. It is in the microscopic moments, the quiet decisions no one else sees, that true transformation begins. It is the cumulative effect of these small, deliberate actions that separates the dreamer from the doer, the ordinary from the extraordinary. So, I urge you, do not wait for the perfect moment. Take the first step, take it now, and watch how a single step today can change the entire direction of your life tomorrow. Jim Rohn said, you cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction in a single moment. That single moment is happening right now as you listen to my voice. The choice is yours. You can either close this video and go back to the same old patterns, the same old excuses, and the same old life, or you can take a deep breath, stand up, and choose a new direction. Choose to be the architect of your destiny, not a casualty of your circumstances. I have given you the map, I have given you the principles. Now the rest is up to you. I am not here to convince you, I am here to challenge you. I challenge you to be the person you were meant to be. I challenge you to stop making excuses and start making progress. I challenge you to take control of your life and build a legacy that will inspire others for generations to come. Your success is not a matter of luck. It is a matter of choice. It is a consequence of the consistent, deliberate, and courageous actions you take every single day. The person you will be 5 years from now is being built by the choices you make today. Thank you for listening. But more importantly, thank you for your commitment to your own growth. If this message resonated with you, I ask for your support. Please like this video, share it with someone you know who needs to hear it, and subscribe to this channel. By doing so, you are not just supporting me. You are joining a community of people who are committed to living a life of purpose, discipline, and greatness. The journey begins now. Go and create your masterpiece.